the experience of selflessness comes about in several ways. One is when you're able to distinguish the sensory components that create that sense that there is a self inside me. The model that I like to use, of course, it's only one of many possible models. The model I like to use involves three sensory components: visual thinking, auditory thinking, and emotional type body sensation. I call emotional type body sensation feel, and the visual thinking image, and the auditory thinking talk. So when feel, image, talk get tangled together, then that's one of the factors that produces the sense of the conventional sense that there is a self here. When you're able to untangle them, then something of the somethingness of that self goes away. A deeper level of the no self comes about when, after you've untangled them, you realize that they're actually waves. The they meaning the feel, image, talk. They aren't solidified things. They're waveforms. That creates a fluid sense of self, which is another level of approaching the no self. There's the no self experience that comes through just purely disentangling. Then there's the no self experience that comes through decoagulating the elements that you've disentangled. Then there's the no self experience that comes about when those flows stop and there is zero. And that's a kind of absolute no self experience. And then I would say that the highest freedom comes about when you can experience from that zero the feel, image, talk re-arising. And you totally allow it to re-arise as an unblocked activity of personality. Before, when they arose, they were a coagulated something called self, or ego in the sense of ego problem, as opposed to ego in the sense of ego strength, which is a whole other meaning of ego. But when we say we have an ego problem, that's self as a coagulated noun. The deeper freedom is when the self re-arises, but we experience it directly coming from the nothing, and it re-arises as an uncoagulated verb called a powerful and rich human personality, coming from the nothingness and never really fundamentally separate from the nothingness, returning to the nothingness in a cycle. So I would call that a fully expressed self. And I would say that that would represent a healthy experience of self.